Morning, everyone. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So, hold on. Getting some feedback. If anyone is interested, this is part 2 of the rye bread experiment that we began yesterday. So, you can watch part 1 if you are so inclined. A few people were interested. I do have to teach at 10, so this is just going to be a bit rapid, but thought I would just show the rest of the process. Let's see here. So, we'll get started. This is the bread that was overnight. You'll see I went through a bunch of different folds and everything. Oh, it's a bit tough. Here we go. Move this down. Doubled in size, you can see, really nice. I'm going to try to get some of the air out. And you see that it's going to, this big bubble up right here is about to pop. Let some of that air out. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to dump this out, and we are going to shape it into 2 loaves. We are going to make round loaves. And we're going to begin to proof them in these proofing baskets, which are made out of wood. They're called bannetons, these. Now, we do have to prepare these, but not quite yet, so we'll just leave it be. We need to have a little dusting of flour, so that nothing sticks. My favorite dusting technique is the just sort of throw technique. But then sometimes I also just get, do the sort of Jackson Pollock technique. Anyway, this is where a dough blade is really handy because you can scrape out the dough in one big chunk. You're going to get all of that out of there. Just like that. So, I'm going to get this into a more manageable chunk. You spend a lot of time working with bread trying to capture the air, and so you want to be really kind of minimal when you're taking the air out. But you start off with a light degassing, and anytime your hands get a little sticky, put a little flour on. Light degassing, and then we still need to build the structure of this bread. And the way we do that is we draw the dough into itself. We're just trying to strengthen the dough. So we're going to make a bunch of little folds. We're going to roll. And so far, if everyone can see, now I have a shape that looks a bit more like bread. But I want this to be really sort of tight. But I'm making 2 loaves, so I'm going to actually cut it in half and make 2 tight balls. Just put this one aside for a second. Then I'm going to focus on this. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just fold the dough in on itself. Now I'm going to I want the top to be really tight. This is where it begins to become a loaf of bread. So my surface is sticky a little, and so I'm going to try to elongate the strands of the dough, but I'm pulling back. So I'm using the natural surface tension of my worktop to help me bring this into a really tight ball. I don't know if everybody can see that. Maybe it's easier to. And so I'm sort of turning as I go. And once I have a really tight ball, I'm going to set it aside. Now, part of the point of this is that I'm actually going to shape this twice. So this is just pre-shaping. I'm just trying to get it into a round shape, a consistently round shape. Same thing with this other one. Dough's feeling pretty good. It's dried out overnight. That's good. So it's a little easier to work with. This one's a little smaller than the other one. No worries. Okay, so now we have these bread baskets to prepare. And this is a secret, this is top secret technology right here, but desperate times, I'll let you in on the secret. I'm using rice flour. Rice flour is a little larger gradient than wheat flour. And so when you put it in the banneton, it creates more of an opportunity for the bread not to stick. Right? So you just put some rice flour in here. And you just cover all the surfaces. Less is a little more, but you can also take the top, or you can get it, you can take it off. You can dump it out, brush it off. So just put a bunch in here. And maybe a little more. Let's see here. So we're supposed to wait 10 minutes to reshape this, but actually I think that this is shaped pretty well. My dough is a lot less sticky than I expected, which is good. So I'm actually just gonna put this in here. Now, the reason you do this is so you can get a good round shape, but you also want to make sure you can take it out later, which is why you put the flour in. So I'm going to cover this and leave this. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and I'm going to bake it a little bit later this afternoon. Same thing with this one. It just goes right in there. Just have some bags here to help keep the moisture in. Now, this part I'm going to do is called cold fermentation. As the name implies, they're going to go in my refrigerator. This is going to slow down the yeast growing process, the yeast replicating process even, a little bit and help get even more flavor. So, last thing to do is to wash my hands, and that didn't take long. Could have done it a bit later, but I'm gonna then prep for a bit of teaching today with second year film students. It's going to be an interesting experience as we try to figure out how to move our practice-led class online. But I'm up to the task and we'll figure it out. We'll get through it together. That's the whole point. So thanks for checking out my bread shaping stream. Maybe when it comes time to bake or whatnot, we'll fire up the stream again, or I'll post some pictures. Cool, everyone. I hope everyone's doing okay, and I'll check in later.